everybody. So today we are going to be talking about a topic that a lot of parents face, and that is how to calm an overstimulated child. Whether the child is being overstimulated because they're having like a sensory overload, whether it's due to the environment being too loud or too busy, or whether they're just emotionally overloaded. These strategies are going to help you so that you can help your child be more regulated and help them when they are feeling overstimulated. So before we dive into those strategies, it is so important that you understand what the heck does it look like if my child is overstimulated? Like, how do I know that, right? So it can come in many different forms. So my advice to you is just really pay attention to your child and really try to track down what type of behaviors your child is exhibiting. So for some children, overstimulation may look like those children that are like constantly running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They're like loud and so fast and bumping into things, and it's like, whoa, where did this burst of energy come from, right? And it just seems like they're on like 100 for a long period of time. That could be a clue that your child is overstimulated. Another clue could be the child that is having like a huge meltdown, right? And remember, there is a difference between a tantrum and a meltdown, and I'll link that video a little bit later. But if your child is having a meltdown, which means that it's too much sensory overload, too much sensory input, and it's causing their bodies to just like freak out to the point where it looks like a tantrum, right? They could be kicking, crying, screaming, but in reality, it's their way of showing you and telling you like, hey, this is too much for me. I need to be removed from this situation. Or some children demonstrate overstimulation by the complete opposite. Some children will get very, very quiet. Some children will kind of like shut down, if you know what I mean. So they may go off into the corner. They may be very like averse to like any social interaction. They just kind of like want to be by themselves. That could be another sign that your child is overstimulated. You may even see more visible demonstrations of being overstimulated. So for example, you may see your child covering their ears. You may see them covering their eyes. You may see them becoming restless, maybe like tapping their leg a lot or shaking their hands a lot or doing some stimming behaviors. So all of these things could be signs that your child is overstimulated. So getting into how do you help your child, or how do you even prevent, if possible, your child from becoming overstimulated? So tip number one is to create a calming environment for your child. So if you notice that your child is becoming overstimulated, the first step you should do is to make sure you reduce the amount of sensory input that's coming in. This may look like you dimming the lights. This may look like you turning the TV off. This may look like you closing the blinds or closing the shades. And this may even look like you clearing away any unnecessary clutter. Another way to enhance the environment for your child if they're overstimulated is to have what's called like a sensory corner or a sensory space. So basically this could be like a small area in your house that you designate specifically for your child if you know they are one to become easily overstimulated, right? So this should be an area that's pretty quiet, pretty like kind of isolated away from everything else. It should have in there some sensory tools, right? It can have in there soft blankets, soft pillows, maybe a weighted blanket, maybe some headphones, maybe like some little fidget tools. So just things that your child can kind of escape to if necessary. Which brings me to tip number two, as far as another way to help your child who may be overstimulated, and that is using sensory tools as needed. So I just talked about using things such as weighted blankets, but also you can consider things like weighted vests or compression garments underneath their clothes. You can even have them to engage and play with like fidget tools or fidget toys, or you can even have them to engage in sensory-based play. So this may look like sensory bins. This could look like heavy work, which is amazing, amazing, amazing. Matter of fact, I may do a video all about heavy work and how important it is, if I haven't already. But heavy work is a key to helping children who are overstimulated, or even helping them to prevent becoming overstimulated. And heavy work basically is anything that involves your child using their muscles to pull things, push things, lift things, carry things that have some weight to them. So this could look like you filling up a laundry basket of clothes or toys or books and having your child to push it across the floor. This could look like your child doing some wall push-ups. This could look like your child pulling some resistance putty. So anything that's really getting their muscles going and working is going to be very helpful for regulating their system. Another tip for helping your child who may be overstimulated is to have them focus on breathing and some mindfulness techniques and exercises. So I know sometimes the younger kiddos don't really quite understand like deep breathing and all of that, but they truly can if you teach them and if you practice it with them ahead of time. So practicing deep breathing techniques. So some of you may be thinking, well, I have a little guy, right? Or I have a 2-year-old who may not understand what that means to take like a deep breath. But I will show you one of my favorite techniques for doing this. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So one of my favorite ways to teach a young child how to take deep breaths is by using the tissue example. So basically I would hold the tissue in front of me to just show them a visual demonstration first. So I'll hold it up in front of me and see if I can make the tissue wave or make it fly. So I'll go, right? And that is just giving them a visual reference, a visual example of what it means to even take a breath, right? So you can have them practice that example if you're trying to work on some deep breathing techniques. Or you can also have them practice by blowing bubbles. That is another fun way to teach deep breathing. Or if you have cotton balls or pom-poms, you can have them practice blowing the pom-poms or the cotton balls across the table. Those are all great strategies in order to help your child learn deep breathing. Now, when it comes to mindfulness, this is basically helping your child to visualize things that are not focused on what's causing that overstimulation, right? So you may take them away and you may say, hey, can you show me something green? Do you smell something like flowers? What do you see? What can you hear? What do you smell? So it's really helping your child to focus on their senses, which a lot of times will kind of help them be more calm and regulate them. You can even play games like I Spy and do things like, show me 5 things you can see. Show me 5 things you can smell. Show me 5 things you can taste. And basically it's a way of them observing the environment around them, which may also help them to calm faster. My next tip for helping children who are overstimulated is to provide them with some source of gentle movement or deep pressure. So gentle movement could be something as simple as you sitting them on your lap and kind of gently rocking them back and forth. If you have a swing at home, that's very helpful. If you don't have a swing, but you do have an extra set of hands, you can put your little one in a blanket and just kind of rock them back and forth. Or if you have like an exercise ball, you can lay them on their bellies and have them roll back and forth over the ball. So all of those are like gentle types of movement that may help an overstimulated child. And to go along with that, you can also incorporate some pressure, right? So you may incorporate some bear hugs or tight hugs. You may give them some joint compressions or some gentle massages. You can wrap them in a blanket and give them pressure to their arms and their legs while they're in the blanket. You can even roll the ball on their backs while they're laying on the floor. So there are so many different ways to provide additional input. Sometimes that combination of movement as well as pressure is going to really help to reduce how overstimulated your child is. And my next strategy for helping your child to become less overstimulated is to provide structure and routine. Now this is so important, especially for those kids who thrive off of routine. They thrive off of structure. They thrive and do well when they know what to expect. So you can do things like offer a visual schedule so they can kind of see what's first, what's second, what's third. You can offer them a first then schedule. So first we're going to do this, then we're going to do this. You can use visual support like visual timers. It's going to help to reduce that anxiety and that easy overwhelm. So do me a favor, guys, in the comments below, let me know if you've tried any of these techniques and if they've worked for your child, or what other strategies have you used to help your child child when they become overstimulated. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're interested in learning more about child development and strategies to help them progress and thrive along the way. And one more thing, check out this next video if you have a sensory seeking child and learn about some tips to help them as well. Till next time, bye.